This video is brought to you by Dr. Kristen R. Bromley's Guitar Method Book Series and Online Music Academy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kristen Bromley. Welcome to my online academy. It's so great to have you joining me here in these online lessons. This is a Technique Tuesday, so I'm throwing out a technique tidbit. In this lesson, we're going to work on shifting, working with the chromatic scale. So one of the challenges that we have with guitar is that we have to shift from position to position all the time. A great way to sort of work on doing that is with the chromatic scale, which can be fingered in so many different ways, but in which we have to do a lot of shifting. So I'm just going to go ahead and walk you through some of the ones that I've done or that I do that I think are great to do. These work on finger dexterity and they also work on getting a nice smooth shift. So if you've seen the Theory Thursday lessons, you'll know that we can play the chromatic scale up and down one string. And so there's a lot of ways we can practice with shifting and fingerings with this one string. So of course we could use one finger and just move from fret to fret. Now this is actually more useful than it may seem, because we got to work on having things be smooth. Now I'm picking my finger up so I don't get the sliding motion with these round wound strings, but you want to try and get a nice even sound as you move from one note to the next. So you can do this with any and all of the fingers. So I just did it with my index finger. Of course I would continue back down. I work at different tempos, but we need, one of the challenges with shifting is that we need it to sound smooth. We don't want to hear our shifts as we're hearing the music that we're playing. So we want them to be smooth. So you don't want to move faster than you're able to do that in a relaxed state, as I've talked about before, and then we just gradually move up the tempo and try and get better and better and faster, more accurately. But I can do that with any of the fingers. So I just did it with the index. I could practice it with the middle finger, and so on. I could practice it with the ring finger, and I can practice it with the pinky. So all the way up and down the chromatic scale, I can do that on any of the strings, of course. Now we can do two finger combinations where I go index, middle, index, middle. This causes me to shift a little bit bigger, and I just want to work on trying to keep that as smooth as possible as I move from one to the next and not hear those shifts, which is really hard. I just played two notes back. I played the same note back to back. But you want to try and keep those even and the same. You can use a metronome, but it's really challenging to keep it so it sounds like we're playing like we're not shifting every other note. I can do that with any two fingers. So middle to ring, of course I could do that one. It's mostly with the adjacent fingers. So middle to ring, you can also do ring to pinky, of course, and so on. There are three note combinations, so index, middle, ring, index, middle, ring, which is nice and smooth, and I can practice this on any of the strings, of course. With that comes the option to do middle, ring, and pinky, so on and so forth, up and down. I can also do four finger combinations, index, middle, ring, pinky. Now, as I do this, if I think of five notes, I can also practice shifting in other places. So I can go index and then index, 2, 3, 4, and then index and index. So I've got more shifts happening in there, back to back, something like that. And I just want higher than the root note that I'd started on, but it really doesn't matter. You can practice up higher if you want to. But again, something like index, index, middle, ring, pinky, and then I shift my index, do index again, and then so on. I can also go index, middle, shift on my middle, ring, pinky, index, middle, shift on my middle, index, middle, shift on my middle, and then coming down I would shift on that middle finger again. And I could do that with the ring finger, index, middle, ring, ring, pinky, index, middle, ring, ring, pinky. And same thing, coming down. practice shifting with my pinky. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shift with that pinky and then index. And so on. I could also practice shifting to other fingers. So I could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, and so on. You can come up with all sorts of different combinations, but those are sort of the majority of them. Just working different patterns gets used to finding those frets with those fingers and gets used to those shifting positions in a chromatic sense. Now, I can also, though, practice shifting while moving across strings. So these ones get a little bit trickier. I think the first one to start with, really, if I start on the C at the 8th fret, is to do 4 notes per string, because all you have to do when you move to the next string is shift down 1 fret, and then between strings 3 and 2, you actually don't do a shift at all. And if you want to, you can grab the root up there, but coming back down, I just climb 1 fret higher, set between strings 2 and 3, and then I climb 1 fret higher. Okay, so now making it a little bit trickier, we can do 3 notes per string. When we do that, as we shift, we're going to have to skip over a fret. So if I start at the 12th fret with my index finger, I go 1, 2, 3. Then on the 5th string, I'm going to jump down to the 10th fret and go 1, 2, 3. Then the 8th fret, then the 6th. Now as I move to the 2nd string, I only have to go 1 fret difference. So to the 5th fret with my index, and then to the 3rd fret. Coming back up, of course it works the opposite way. So that's tricky. Now if we do 2 notes per string, it's even trickier because we have to skip over 2 frets. So if I start up at the 15th fret on the G and do 2 fingers, and of course I could use, back at the other one, I could use middle ring and pinky instead of index middle ring, so you can do it with different fingerings, but I'm just going to start with my index here as an example. So index and middle, then I skip over 2 frets, so to the 10th, so 15 to the 12th fret, and then to the 9th, to the 6th, and then I only skip over 1 to the 4th, and then I skip over 2 again. So that one's a little bit trickier. If you were to just do 1, it would be even trickier. But those are great exercises to work on finding your place, and to work on some shifting and trying to get it as smooth as possible. And you also get to work with the chromatic scale a little bit, which is good technique for us to develop. So hope that helps with some of that shifting. Of course, there'll be more Technique Tuesday lessons with other technique tidbits thrown out on theories. On Thursdays, we have fretboard theory that helps us unlock knowing the fretboard and understanding how we're playing music on the fretboard. And on Saturdays, we have our mini courses coming out. Right now, it's flat picking, improvising with flat picking. So lots of great stuff. Hope you're having fun with the guitar. Take care, and we'll see you again.
If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For more in-depth lessons and to progress through a free guitar course, check out my Guitar 101 series on YouTube and my Guitar Method books, which all come with access to hours of in-depth video lessons. You can find more information about me and my products at KristenBromley.com. Take care.